Hello and welcome back to Oops, That's Offensive, and today's topic is Solana and their deleted advertisement, which is still available on YouTube.
Like coming up with a new gender.
I want to invent technologies, not gender.
Now, I just want to try and understand why Solana did this and why they thought it was a good idea, why they scripted it, went through the process of producing it and publishing it without anyone saying no. And potentially that reason could have been due to the drop in volume. I know the markets have been red, and Solana has been losing out to Binance Smart Chain or BNB chain when it comes to DEX volume. So a lot of the speculators, a lot of the meme coin gamblers have shifted from Solana to BSC. Now, here's what I think happened, and maybe in my imagination it's just crazy because that advertisement was crazy, which we'll get into, but they were thinking, hey, a lot of our degen meme traders have left and went to BNB chain, and we gotta get them back. And there's one way to do that.
You know, I used to think the media was my friend. Can I even trust them anymore?
Of course.
Of course they'd say that. That's a biased take.
So we need an advertisement attacking transgenders and wokeness. That is the only solution to bring our meme coin traders back.
America, numbers are non-binary. We've been conditioned to believe that 2 + 2 is 4. It's a societal construct.
I want to invent technologies, not gender.
And that's the video. It's just these two people in the room, and then this guy, kind of an incel-y guy, talks about wokeness, transgenders, 2 + 2 = 4, and you know what happened? People did not like that. People did not think, hey, I really got to get on the Solana blockchain because this guy knows what he's talking about. So, okay, you can have your opinions, whatever that may be.
According to them, the trans kids that want to play the sports, Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. I'm just like, what are we doing?
But the purpose of the advertisements, or at least with crypto, is now we have to remember there was a lot of thought put into this. Someone had the idea to pitch in a Solana meeting that, hey, we need an advertisement. We need to bring users back onto our chain, and said, I got an idea for a video. I think you're gonna love it. Then they scripted it, they produced it, they recorded it, they edited, they went through the entire production process, and then when they released it online, immediate backlash, and the post has been deleted. So you just have to imagine that this happened, and it was clearly someone's fault on the Solana team to allow this to go out. And even if you're like the social media manager and they say, hey, post this video, and you take a look at that video, you might want to say, hey, I don't think this is going to bring more users to Solana. Maybe we need to take a step back and think this through a little. Toli, or Anatoly, is one of the co-founders of Solana, and he has responded to the ad. The ad was bad, and it's still gnawing at my soul. I am ashamed I downplayed it instead of just calling it what it is, mean and punching down on a marginalized group. I am grateful for the ecosystem devs and artists that immediately called it what it is, both publicly and privately. You are the only silver lining to this whole mess. I'll do whatever I can to make sure the Solana Foundation stays focused on its mission of decentralization and open source software development out of culture wars. That's a great take. You admit when you messed up, you learn from it, and you move forward. So with that, let's look at some more effective advertising when it comes to crypto.
He'd steer you clear of the drywall screws when what you really needed were concrete anchors.
Thanks. This one?
The small one, yeah, that one.
But when it came time to settle up,
I don't have any cash.
the register signs didn't register.
So right now they're putting us in a relatable situation. This is a small business. He prefers cash, but people are paying with credit cards. And when you pay with credit cards, a business has to take on a loss from those credit card fees because they charge 3%.
How could those swipes be worth 3% of his profit? But then part-time cashier / full-time grandson had another idea.
Can I come in?
Crypto payments. Lower fees, less paperwork, more profit.
So they immediately bring up the value proposition of crypto. Lower fees, less paperwork, more profit. And that's kind of how the advertisement ends, but they don't really go into the process of like people actually paying in crypto because it's still a hypothetical situation. If you have a less tech savvy audience where there's all this friction, they're not going to pay with crypto. It's not going to happen, at least for the next few years. After that, very possible. It depends on what kind of adoption we can make happen. But yeah, it's an effective ad, I think, because it relates to a situation. You see the problem and you see the potential solution. It's just hits all those points, whereas bad advertisements do not do that. Now, we also have to take a look at the FTX Super Bowl commercial with Larry David, disgraced exchange FTX, because this is just a good ad. This is a fantastic ad. They spent a lot of money on it and it was effective. The exchange wasn't, but the advertisement was very effective.
I call it the wheel.
I don't think so.
What does it do?
It rules.
Yeah, so does a bagel, okay? A bagel you can eat.
Behold, the fork. I got 10 forks right here, baby!
Now, the ad just goes into situations where humanity is making progress. People are going to be apprehensive against it, but progress will continue to happen no matter what. And that's where cryptocurrency comes in. So, failed exchange, but very effective advertisement.
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never.
Then we have Algorand. We should really watch this Algorand commercial.
You take Bitcoin?
Sure do.
Is Ethereum okay?
Sure is.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good. You take Solana?
That'll be $61.40. Go ahead and tap right here.
For ice cream?
Gas prices. You guys know that, though. Should have shopped with Algorand.
Now?
Nope.
Now, I thought that was a pretty good commercial. It was very smooth. It kind of showed that, hey, you can pay for things with cryptocurrency. This is a fast one, but we're not at the point where cryptocurrencies should be fighting each other for consumers because no one is actually paying with crypto to pay for everyday items like ice cream. And it's kind of bullshit too, because Solana is fast and cheap, and I don't even know why they would have even put them on the list. Now, Algorand just isn't really that popular in general, at least with the DeFi and crypto crowd. I don't know what else it's doing. I'm sure it's doing things. I just don't know what else it's doing just because it doesn't make it into my Twitter algorithm. And this video actually came out last year in August. Now, the interesting thing is, any person that was really into crypto was wondering why Algorand even released this commercial and was shitting on their competitors, because you can see here from Milk Road, when in doubt, down 99%, start bashing other chains. And then you have a chart of Algorand. We won't look at today's chart. No need to do any type of comparison. Kind of an effective ad where they are saying the key points of the SwePlay gaming handheld device, but for me it's a little too much. There's too much happening. The messaging is kind of all over the place and it takes a lot to follow. It's visually too stimulating. Now, I still pre-ordered it and I'm still waiting on it coming out this summer, but the key thing to note here is these ads should bring people into crypto and not keep them away from it. So, lesson learned. Coinbase had some mistakes in the past too. If you watch their documentary, there's a few moments that they share, and it's also pretty funny. And if I can get a downloaded copy to share so I can have those clips, maybe we'll do that in the near future. So that's what happened in crypto this week with Solana and their advertisement that got deleted. But, you know, they got people talking about Solana, and that might be effective too, I guess. All right, with that, I hope you got some value for today.